morning, family. It's Tasha, Mom Bear Prepping. So we're going to get into it. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you are having a blessed day, a blessed morning. It's morning for me. Probably not morning for a lot of folks that are watching this now. Get your drink, pull up. We're going to talk about the railroad situation. You know, I've put off putting out this video because, to be honest, I was really hoping that things would change, that the strikes would work out, unions would work out, because it's such a devastating blow to our economy, to our supply chain. When you talk about big strikes like this happening, we've been talking about several strikes, different things that are happening that I've been following. But I tell you what, this is pretty big, okay? And it has a lot of effects. You know, Amtrak, for example, is not going around moving grains, moving product, cargo, that type of thing, but they're moving people, right? You have coach and different long travel that a lot of people do on trains, and that is having to shut down. Not necessarily because those unions are striking. Amtrak is not striking, but Amtrak uses those national railroad systems, right? And so when they shut down, it stops a lot of other things. So this has a domino effect that's going to be happening. You have those companies who have already put out statements, issues that they're canceling, right? If something cannot get to its destination by midnight tonight, it's canceled. Okay, so if you were trying to do any kind of traveling by train, if you commute by train, if you were trying to go see family by train, vacation, whatever the case may be, take a look, okay, because they are shutting that stuff down, and we do not know how long this is going to last. The last time this happened was during a Bush administration. I mean, this is a big deal, okay? And what's crazy is you're not really seeing a lot of, you know, it's not really that crazy, but you're not seeing a lot of the discussion on this, you know, in regards to, you know, social media and the media itself, right? Which is not really that surprising. But what is surprising that this could have such a big impact? This is something that has the potential that, look, if they can work something out in the first, let's say 24 hours, we're going to be okay. We can recover from that. However, if this goes 4, 5, 6, 7 days, severe consequences. Okay. And that domino effect I'm talking about, that's the problem. Because now if you have a train that goes through an area, picking up grain, for example, from farmers, picking up vegetables, picking up butchered meat, picking up all these products, okay, and now it comes to a screeching halt. Do you think that those farmers and those other distributors and different things like that can just hold on to that stuff? Everything works on a schedule, right? Everything from gardening, even for a little gardener like us, we have a schedule, right? You plant something, there's an expected timeline of how long that will take to grow, an expected timeline that you can expect to harvest that food, and then you have to move quickly, right? Things will start to go bad. So you pick the food, and then you have to process it. You have to figure out what you're going to do with it, right? Whether that's putting it in the freezer, whatever the case may be. So think about this on a global stage, on this whole United States stage of all these farmers. It is fall time, right? All that harvest from spring is being harvested, right? Needs to be moved now, okay? And now you have trains who are going to stop. And what do those farmers now do, right? Some of them have product that can't just be held, okay? Of course, if we're talking about 24 hours, maybe a day or so, there's stuff that can be done. But there's a lot of folks that are on tight schedules, and that just really messes up stuff. And for those of you, I've heard a few people saying, well, you know, Amazon will just kick in. Long haul truckers, you know, all the shortages. Now we can bring all these truckers back. And listen, there is a shortage for a reason. We do not have enough truckers. We do not have enough trucks. We have a whole issue with trucks even having the ability to get gas and, you know, different parts, okay, to keep their trucks running. It would take, I would say, over 1 million trucks to really do some sort of justice with taking over that stuff, right? And you can't just say, oh, here's a truck to take this stuff. I mean, you're talking about chemicals, you're talking about stuff that takes certain equipment or pieces to actually move it, right, safely, okay? So you can't just start substituting stuff and say, oh, you'll go pick that up, right? So it's very important. And listen, we saw COVID, we saw panic buying. It doesn't take much for panic buying to start. And when you couple how things have looked now, the few people that maybe they're not what they would call themselves a prepper, they would not call themselves a preparedness person, but they're still seeing what's happening around them. They're seeing the prices. They're seeing the hey, I can't get a certain item. Maybe it's not clicking yet totally on, hey, this is a shortage issue, right? But if you couple news like this getting out finally to the public, and this takes any amount of time for it to happen, I can't imagine this being kept in a way where the public is not going to understand what's going on, because you're going to see it on the shelves. Those people are going to see it all of a sudden on the shelves, and those that are paying attention even a little bit are gonna panic, right? They're gonna, you talk about, hey, there might not be any food for 2 weeks. You have people now who are gonna panic buy as early as Friday night and into the weekend, whatever they can do, and get that payday. A lot of people get paid on the 1st and the 15th. Okay, today's the 15th. So imagine you're on the precipice of something major happening that's going to get out, and then people are going to panic buy, and people have the money, and so they're going to go and get this stuff. So hopefully they can at least get through the next 2 weeks until next payday, right? That's the saving grace a little bit on the people that are not paying attention. Hopefully they're on their normal cycle of buying groceries, right? Even those folks that are buying groceries kind of paycheck to paycheck, the saving grace is today, hopefully a lot of folks are getting paid and going out and just getting that next 2 weeks, okay? That's the saving grace of something like this happening in this time frame, right? But let them slip. Let them do some other stuff below that money, and then realize on Monday or Tuesday what's happening. And then they're panicked because they spent that money through the weekend on whatever, on BS, right? We are all in this together, right? This is on its face, it's scary, right? But for those of us that have been preparing, right, that have slowly been stockpiling stuff, there's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to be panicked about, because this is the type of situation that you have already been preparing for. And so you're going to be just fine. If there's some last minute things you need to get those last minute toiletries. You need to get, your fresh products, get your 2 week supply of your fresh stuff, your fresh eggs, fresh butter, your milk, stuff like that, your cheese, your lunch meat. Get your fresh stuff topped off, right? Get your snacks, get your things like that, okay? You shouldn't be panicking because you've been stockpiling, so you're okay. There's no need to just, if you've been preparing and stacking food, there's no need for you to go out now and spend $1,000 on food, on a food haul. Do not do that. That's not what this is about. You've been preparing little by little so that you don't have to be doing that, okay? Let those people that don't have no food go out and get that stuff, right? But you're doing the things that you know to do when you're getting and preparing for a storm that's ahead, right? You're topping off your gas, right? You're making sure you have some cash out. You're looking at your schedule and figuring out if anything needs to change as far as traveling and where you're going and going and coming from, right? You're topping off any kind of last minute emergency toiletries that you may need still, whether that's toilet paper, tampons, you need some more deodorant, toothpaste, right? Top off your water, right? Get a couple cases of water maybe, okay? It's not the time to panic, but it is time that you do those little things to button it all up prior to the chaos happening so that you're not out doing that stuff. If you have prescriptions to fill, different things, get that stuff now, okay? Because if panic starts, then those shelves go empty. So if there's something you've been holding off that you do not have yet, that you've been holding off, let's say you've been holding off stacking up some ibuprofen, right? You want to get ibuprofen in your medicine cabinet, and you've been holding off. You've just got your little half bottle in there and you've been holding off. It might behoove you to go get a couple bottles, okay? Just think about it in a supply chain situation and how that would affect you and your family, and top off and basically get anything that you've been kind of holding off on, right? It's time, okay? But keep it together. So I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Pray for those of you that follow my God and your God. Please pray that if the strike happens with this union, that things are resolved within a couple of hours, that it happens quickly. That needs to be at the top of our prayers. And then stay safe is beyond anything that goes beyond that. And whatever this turns into next week, possibly, just be calm, cool, pray, and stay out of the way, right? Stay off the streets, be calm and cool, and you'll be okay. All right, see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Take care. Bye.